My beloved child, there is a shift moving toward you right now, quiet, unseen, and yet louder than anything your spirit has ever felt. Archangel Michael steps forward with his sword of revelation, saying, "The life you're meant to live is about to reveal itself, and this message holds the timing." The moment you hear these words, something in the unseen begins to unlock. For so long, you have felt as if you were walking in a fog, knowing there is more for you, but unable to see the path clearly. You sense the life you were born for, the purpose that had been calling your soul, yet everything felt delayed, paused, or withheld. But today, Archangel Michael whispers, the veil is lifting. A divine clock has just struck a hidden hour over your life, a moment that only heaven could release. And this is why you are listening right now, not by coincidence, not by accident, but because the timing attached to this message is aligned with your destiny. Michael reveals that the life you're meant to live has been waiting behind a spiritual doorway, one that required maturity, healing, and readiness. And now that doorway is beginning to open. You may not see it physically yet, but your soul can already feel the shift. It feels like a quiet vibration inside your chest, a subtle knowing that something big is on its way. Heaven is marking you for transition. Everything that has felt stuck is about to move. Everything that has felt delayed is about to accelerate. You are stepping into the version of yourself that has always existed in God's plan. Your truest, strongest, most aligned self. The you that your heart has been dreaming of is about to appear in your reality. Archangel Michael says that this revelation comes with timing, divine timing, and the moment you hear it is the moment the countdown begins. You have stepped into a spiritual window where clarity will flow, opportunities will appear, and the truth of who you are will become impossible to ignore. There is a reason your spirit is reacting right now. Michael shows a vision of a curtain being pulled back, like pouring into a room that had been dark for years. This light is not random. It is not accidental. It is targeted. It is sent to reveal the path you were meant to walk. The path that has your name etched on it since the day you were formed. You have carried questions. Why am I here? What is my purpose? When will things finally make sense? Why does it feel like something is waiting for me just beyond reach? Those questions are being answered, not with confusion, not with delay, but with revelation. Your true life, the one designed by divine intelligence, is waking up. And when it reveals itself, everything that once felt complicated will suddenly feel aligned. This is the moment your puzzle pieces start forming a picture. Archangel Michael says you are entering a phase of exposure, not exposure of shame, not exposure of weakness, but exposure of truth. The truth of your gifts, the truth of your calling, the truth of why you survived what others didn't, the truth of why certain doors closed, why certain people left, why certain situations that never worked out. Because those things were not connected to the life you were meant to live. And here is the most powerful part. Michael says the timing of this revelation begins the moment your heart recognizes the messages for you. Not when the video ends. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, there is a spiritual countdown beginning as these words enter your spirit. Heaven has waited for this moment. You have waited for this moment. And now it begins. And before you move on, hold still for a breath, because the next revelation Michael is preparing to release will show you why this timing could not come earlier, and what is about to unfold next in your life. Hold on. You'll want to hear what comes after this. The next unfolding is something your spirit has been waiting years to receive. Type "I welcome my revelation" in the comments if this speaks to your heart. Lesson code 441 is now active over your journey. Part 2, my radiant soul. There is a stirring inside you right now, a subtle trembling in the unseen that is not fear but recognition. Archangel Michael stands closer than before, his presence like a wall of light behind your spirit. He says, "What is unfolding before you is not random. It is the revelation of the life that was written for you long before the world tried to shape you." These words pierce the fog that has wrapped itself around your path for years. You are not just transitioning, you are awakening. You have known seasons where you could feel purpose near you, almost close enough to touch, and yet it slipped through your fingers. There were moments when you felt ready, but nothing moved. There were nights when you wondered whether you had missed your window or misread the signs. Michael wants you to know you never missed anything. Heaven was not delaying you. Heaven was preparing timing for maximum impact. Your spirit has matured. Your heart has softened in the right places and hardened in the right places. You are no longer who you were, and that is why your next chapter is now allowed to appear. Michael reveals that what is coming is not just clarity but identity. You are about to meet the version of yourself that destiny always intended you to become. This is why old habits have been breaking. This is why certain people no longer feel aligned with you. This is why familiar environments have started feeling too small. You have outgrown them spiritually, even before the physical shift could take place. The new life that is rising within you requires room, requires breath, requires spiritual oxygen that the past could not provide. Heaven has observed your resilience, your endurance, your willingness to keep moving even when nothing made sense. Michael says there were moments you cried alone, moments where you fought silent battles no one else knew, moments where you questioned whether anything would ever change. But those moments were the very soil in which your revelation was planted. Struggle did not block your purpose, it fertilized it. Pain did not weaken your destiny, it shaped it. Every delay has been transformed into alignment. Now the alignment is beginning to surface. Michael shows a vision of gears that were once stuck beginning to turn again. The mechanism of your destiny has come back to life. What felt paused is now accelerating. What felt hindered is now breaking open. The path ahead is no longer blocked, and you are no longer walking without guidance. Heaven has reassigned angels to your journey, angels trained in breakthrough, direction, clarity, and rebuilding. Archangel Michael stands at the front, clearing obstacles you cannot see and breaking spiritual interference that once slowed you down. There is a message he repeats with intensity. Your life is about to reveal itself through signs you cannot dismiss. These signs will not feel subtle. They will not feel vague. They will not feel like coincidences. They will be direct, targeted, unmistakably meant for you. A conversation overheard at the right moment. An opportunity appearing where you least expect it. A sudden internal push to make a decision you have avoided for too long. A message appearing in perfect timing. These are heaven's signals, marking your way forward with precision. Michael says you will begin to notice people being repositioned. Some will be gently moved out of your life. Some will suddenly appear and feel like they were sent. You will notice your desires shifting, your energy shifting, your priorities shifting. This is not confusion. This is transformation. You are being aligned with your divine blueprint. Your life is not falling apart. It is falling into place. Heaven is revealing your next step in stages, not all at once. Not because you cannot handle the full picture, but because each stage requires a new version of you. This revelation is a journey, not a sudden drop. You are being guided into purpose the way dawn guides the morning, slowly, steadily, and undeniably. And as the light increases, clarity will rise with it. Michael shows you walking toward a door that has been locked for years. You have knocked on it, cried in front of it, prayed beside it, And now that door is glowing, is preparing to open. But what you must understand is this: the doorway reveals itself only to those ready to walk through it. And now, heaven has declared you ready. This readiness is not perfection. It is alignment. It is courage. It is surrender. It is trust. And you, beloved soul, have finally reached the point where heaven knows you can carry what is meant for you. Before this segment closes, Michael whispers, the next revelation will explain why the waiting was necessary and how everything is about to accelerate in ways you never imagined. What is coming next is deeper, heavier, richer, and more transformative than anything released so far. Wait for it. This next unfolding will shift the way you see your entire life. Type "I align with my destiny" in the comments if this resonates in your spirit. Blessing code 552 is now released over your path. My awakened one, there is a moment in every destiny where heaven steps in, not to delay you, but to protect what is forming inside you. Archangel Michael stands before you now, revealing that the waiting you once despised was actually the molding of your divine timeline. He says, if the life you were meant to live had appeared too early, you would have carried it with the weight of your wounds instead of the strength of your wisdom. These words are not correction. They are liberation. They confirm that nothing was taken from you. Everything was timed for you. You have walked through seasons where you questioned your worth, your voice, your direction. You have felt invisible in rooms where you were born to shine. But heaven did not forget you. Michael says you were being strengthened in the shadows, trained in the unseen, prepared in silence, because your purpose is too significant to be built on unstable foundations. You were not being ignored. You were being preserved. The delay with the disguise of divine protection. Now, that protection has served its purpose, and revelation is rising to the surface. Michael shows a vision of the soil being broken open, a seed pushing upward after years of hidden growth. That seed is you. The pressure you felt, the stretching, the confusion, none of it was punishment. It was the cracking open required before emergence. You are entering the season where your inner life and outer reality finally match. The strength you built privately will now support what heaven reveals publicly. Heaven is making it clear. Things are about to escalate. And not gradually. Not subtly. Not quietly. Michael says acceleration is being assigned to your name. The life you were meant to live is beginning to move toward you with speed. Opportunities that once took months will appear in days. Conversations that seemed impossible will suddenly align. Relationships that felt stagnant will either transform or dissolve, clearing space for divine connections. This shift is not random. It is orchestrated. Michael says your spiritual frequency has changed. You no longer vibrate at the level of your past. You no longer tolerate what once drained you. You no longer accept the small version of yourself. You have risen, and heaven responds to elevation. Because of this rise, your environment must shift to match your new identity. It is no longer optional. The life you are meant to live cannot attach itself to who you used to be. That is why old patterns are breaking. That is why familiar cycles are ending. That is why the people who once felt like home now feel like memory. You are shedding timelines that no longer fit your spirit. There is a truth Michael wants you to hold close. You were never behind. You were never late. You were never lost. You were being aligned with a destiny that required maturity, clarity, and divine timing. And now that timing has arrived, the life you were meant to live is beginning to reveal itself through signs you cannot overlook. Pay attention to sudden restlessness, unexpected inspiration, a pull toward change, where the feeling that something new is calling you forward. These are not emotions. They are instructions. Michael warns that as revelation begins to unfold, the old life will make one last attempt to pull you back. Not because it is stronger, but because it knows it is losing its hold. You may feel waves of doubt, moments of resistance, or a fear of stepping into the unknown. But hear this: the unknown is not empty. It is prepared. It is filled with divine appointments, destiny-shifting encounters, and breakthroughs that have been waiting for your arrival. Michael says, when you walk forward, heaven walks with you. The pathways you thought were blocked will open. The answers you searched for will speak. The purpose you dreamed of will rise. And as this revealing begins, you will feel your soul settle into a profound knowing. This is who I was always meant to be. Before this section closes, Michael whispers, the next unfolding will show you the moment everything turns in your favor and the signs that your divine timeline has fully activated. What comes next is the revelation that ties your past, present, and future into one clear direction. Trust yourself to stay with this message, because the next insight carries the weight of breakthrough. Keep watching. This is where the transformation becomes undeniable. Type "I step into my purpose" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 770 is now awakened for you. If this message is guiding you, like this video, share it, comment your awakening, and subscribe so you never miss what heaven is aligning next. Just as Archangel Michael reveals that the life you were meant to live is rising before you, understand this: every time you help this message travel to another soul, you become part of heaven's unfolding. When you sow into this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are releasing light into someone's darkness. Scripture declares that those who water others will themselves be watered, and today that promise becomes living truth over you. Here is my invitation to you. Stand with me in this calling so more hearts can awaken to God's timing. The same revelation reaching you today will reach countless others because of your obedience in this moment. Your support becomes a prophetic act, opening doors of clarity and blessing in your own life. Rise with this assignment, and let heaven see your faith in action. My courageous soul, there comes a moment when the atmosphere around your life begins to shift before you even understand why. Archangel Michael steps forward now with a clarity that feels like thunder wrapped in calm, saying, the turning point you asked for is already in motion. You may not see the evidence yet, but the spiritual realm has already rearranged pieces on your behalf. What once stood in your way hath been quietly dismantled. What once resisted you is losing its power. There is a divine realignment taking place, and you are standing in the center of it. Michael reveals that nothing in your life has been random. Not the detours, not the delays, not the sudden endings that left you confused, not the unexpected pushes that forced you forward when you felt unready. All of it was shaping the moment you are entering now. He says, the life you are meant to live reveals itself not in comfort, but in readiness. And heaven has judged you ready. For years, you carried the feeling that something bigger was waiting for you. You felt it during quiet nights, during long walks, during conversations that left you restless, during moments when your spirit whispered, you were made for more. That whisper was not imagination. It was prophecy. It was destiny calling you from a higher place, echoing through every season where you tried to settle for less than what was meant for you. Now, that higher place is opening its doors. Michael shows a vision of a timeline being written in real time. Events you thought were mistakes are revealed as stepping stones. People you lost were actually redirected. Things you prayed for that did not happen were replaced with something more aligned. You are stepping into a chapter where you will not simply understand your purpose, you will recognize why every previous moment had to happen exactly as it did. Your divine timeline is activating. But Michael warns that the activation of destiny requires spiritual awareness. The life you are meant to live will not arrive with a loud announcement. It will arrive through inner signals, nudges, knowing, sudden clarity, divine discomfort that pushes you out of what no longer fits. There will be moments where you feel an unexplainable urgency to make decisions you once avoided. There will be days where something inside you says, "Move now. Change this. Release that. Trust yourself." These impulses are not fear. They are instructions. The turning point has already begun. Michael says the first sign of your activated timeline will be the shift in what your spirit tolerates. Things that once felt acceptable will suddenly feel heavy. Relationships that drained you will lose their hold. Environments that kept you small will feel suffocating. This is not loss. It is liberation. You cannot carry old energy into a destined life. You cannot walk into revelation with hands holding yesterday's burdens. Heaven is extracting what no longer aligns with your becoming. You may notice that your desires are transforming. The things you once pursued no longer fulfill you. The habits that once distracted you no longer numb you. Even the dreams you carried for years may begin reshaping themselves. This is not confusion. It is refinement. Michael says the life you are meant to live is not simply being revealed. It is being purified. And now heaven prepares to release the next wave of clarity. Michael explains that destiny always arrives in two phases, awakening and instruction. Awakening is what you are feeling now, the sense that something beyond your current life is calling to you. Instruction is what comes next, the specific guidance, the open doors, the undeniable signs that shape your next steps. You are standing on the threshold between awakening and instruction, and the shift will happen sooner than you expect. Heaven is preparing to reveal the people who will walk with you into your next chapter. Some will carry wisdom. Some will carry opportunity. Some will carry healing. Some will simply carry presence. But each one will be divinely assigned. The connections forming in this next season are purposeful, not accidental. They are woven into your timeline the same way light is woven into dawn. Michael says, nothing that belongs to your destiny can miss you in this season. What is meant for you is moving closer. What is aligned with you is gaining access. What is written for you is stepping into visibility. Your life is not drifting. It is converging. The magnitude of this convergence is something heaven has kept protected until now. You were not spiritually strong enough before. You would have settled for a smaller version of your purpose. You would have accepted half the vision. Now you are ready for the full unveiling. And here is the revelation Michael wants your heart to hold tightly. The life you are meant to live will introduce itself with unmistakable divine confirmation. A message, a sign, an opportunity, an internal shift. Something significant is on its way to you, carrying the seal of heaven. When it arrives, your spirit will know. Before this segment closes, Michael whispers, what comes next will reveal the exact moment everything in your life begins to align, and the signs you must watch for so you don't miss the divine timing attached to your name. You are standing closer to breakthrough than you realize. Stay with this. The next unfolding carries prophetic weight. Trust me, what is about to be revealed will connect the missing pieces of your journey in a way that will leave you breathless. Type "I receive my divine timing" in the comments if this resonates with you. Blessing code 993 is now open for your path. My rising one, there is a hush in the spirit around you right now, a quietness that is not empty but expectant. Archangel Michael stands beside you, his presence firm and unmovable, and he says, You are standing at the edge of a revelation that will redefine the way you see your entire existence. These words come with weight because the life meant for you is no longer approaching. It is emerging. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. What was once hidden behind confusion, delay, and uncertainty is stepping into visibility. Michael reveals that your spirit has entered a divine readiness. You may not feel prepared, but heaven does not measure readiness by certainty. Heaven measures it by willingness. And you, beloved soul, have reached a place where you are willing to walk into the unknown if it means stepping into the life designed for you. That willingness is the signal heaven hath been waiting for. He shows a vision of your timeline like a tightly woven tapestry. Threads that once seemed disconnected are beginning to reveal a pattern. The heartbreak that shaped your courage, the detours that strengthened your discernment, the closed doors that forced you into new directions, the relationships that dissolved to free your spirit. Every thread, even the ones you resented, has been preparing the moment you are walking into. Michael says, your destiny was never broken, it was becoming. And now it is ready to reveal itself in ways that will bring sudden clarity. In the coming days, you may sense a shift inside you, subtle but unmistakable. You may feel more aware of what drains you, more protective of your peace, more drawn toward silence, more uninterested in chaos. You may feel a pull to cleanse your environment, to detach from what no longer serves your growth. These shifts are not emotional swings. They are signs that your spirit is aligning with your true path. Heaven does not reveal destiny to a cluttered heart. The clearing you feel is divine preparation. Michael explains that the life you were meant to live requires a version of you that is centered, aware, and spiritually anchored. You are stepping into that version. You are shedding timelines that once held you hostage. You are releasing the versions of yourself that were shaped by survival rather than purpose. You are rising into the person you were always meant to become. As this rise happens, you will notice something powerful. People will begin responding to you differently. Some will feel intimidated by your growth. Some will become distant because they can sense you no longer fit their expectations. Some will be drawn to your emerging light without knowing why. All of these responses are spiritual reactions, not personal commentary. When your frequency rises, everything around you reorganizes. Michael says, do not chase what is falling away. Do not cling to what heaven is removing. Your destiny cannot be built on what refuses to grow. You are being prepared for divine connections that mirror your new identity. People who challenge you in the right way, support you in the right way, and align with your spiritual path. These connections are not random. They are assigned. And just as new people arrive, clarity will begin speaking to you with new confidence. Michael shows a vision of a compass lighting up inside your chest. You will begin sensing direction more easily. You will know when something is right by the peace it brings. You will know when something is wrong by the heaviness it carries. You will trust your intuition because your intuition is being sharpened by heaven itself. This sharpening is not temporary. It is part of your transformation. But what Michael reveals next deepens the unfolding. There is a moment of divine timing approaching where everything will click into place. A moment where the next step becomes obvious. A moment where the door opens without you forcing it. A moment where you will say, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for. That moment is closer than you think. Michael says you will know it by 3 signs. An internal calm that feels supernatural, an external opportunity that aligns perfectly, and a release of fear that once held you back. These signs are heaven's confirmation that your timeline has fully activated. You have spent years preparing internally. Now life is preparing to shift externally. And when it does, your role is simple. Step forward without shrinking. Step forward without explaining. Step forward without apologizing for the magnitude of your calling. Heaven is not asking you to tiptoe. Heaven is asking you to rise. Before this segment ends, Michael whispers, the next unfolding will reveal the force that has been resisting your destiny for years and how heaven is clearing your path with power you have never experienced before. What is coming next is not gentle. It is decisive. It will explain why certain battles were so intense and why breakthrough is arriving with such speed. Hold steady, the revelation ahead carries the fire of liberation. Type "I rise into my calling" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 128 is now flowing over your journey. My steadfast soul, there is a spiritual truth rising around you that feels heavy, but not in a way that burdens you. Instead, it feels like something ancient and powerful is finally being acknowledged. Archangel Michael steps forward with a seriousness that carries both authority and compassion. He says, "What has resisted you was never stronger than you. It survived only because you had not yet stepped into the fullness of who you are." These words are not spoken to frighten you, but to awaken the understanding that every battle you faced had a spiritual root. And now that root is being exposed. For years, you experienced a strange pattern: progress followed by sudden blockage, excitement followed by unexpected delay, clarity followed by confusion. You may have wondered why things seemed to move for others, but not for you. You worked hard, prayed earnestly, stayed faithful, and yet something always felt like it pushed back when you came close to breakthrough. Michael reveals the truth. There was resistance, but it was not sent to defeat you. It was allowed to reveal your strength. Heaven never wastes a battle. Michael explains that resistance appears when destiny is near. The closer you get to your true path, the louder the distractions become. The more aligned you become, the more old energies try to pull you back. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of proximity. You were nearing your appointed moment, and that is why the pressure increased. But what once pressed against you is losing its power, because your spirit has outgrown what used to bind you. There is a moment in every journey where the internal transformation becomes too large for external resistance to contain. That is the moment you are stepping into now. Michael shows a vision of chains snapping, not because someone pulled them apart, but because the person wearing them became too strong for them to hold. That is you. The battles that once intimidated you can no longer penetrate your spirit. The doubts that once kept you stagnant no longer have the authority to guide your decisions. The fears that used to whisper in your ear now feel small, distant, powerless. Heaven had been reshaping you quietly, and the result is emerging. Michael says the resistance was meant to strengthen your discernment. It taught you how to recognize what is real and what is illusion. It taught you how to sense energy, how to read intention, how to protect your spirit. It taught you to rise in identity instead of shrinking in fear. And now that these lessons have settled into your being, your path is about to open in a way that cannot be stopped. But here is the deeper revelation. The life you were meant to live is not just revealing itself. It is reclaiming territory that should have been yours long ago. This is why the shift you are entering will feel sudden, accelerated, and intense. Heaven is restoring lost time. Michael assures you that nothing that is meant for you has been taken. It is being returned, but in improved form. You may feel an internal fire awakening right now, a quiet boldness forming in your chest. You may feel a sense of authority rising within you that was not there before. You may feel more protective of your energy, more intentional with your boundaries, more aware of what aligns and what pulls you backward. These are signs that the resistance around you is breaking. Michael reveals that the force resisting you is not external anymore. It is collapsing from the inside. The spiritual structures that once blocked you are crumbling because heaven has issued a decree of release. What stood against your progress have been judged. What tried to keep you small has been stripped of authority. What whispered fear is losing its voice. Heaven has stepped in, and the path ahead is being cleared in ways you could never have accomplished alone. Now comes the turning. Michael says that as resistance breaks, clarity will come in waves. Not gentle waves, but waves that shake loose what no longer belongs in your life. You may feel an urge to walk away from situations that once felt familiar. You may feel a calling toward environments that feel new but strangely right. Your intuition will speak louder than hesitation. Your inner knowing will override old patterns. These shifts are not impulsive. They are prophetic. But the most powerful sign that resistance is breaking is this: you will begin wanting what aligns with your soul, not what comforts your fear. This change alone is the greatest evidence of spiritual liberation. Michael shows a vision of you stepping onto a path that glows beneath your feet. Each step you take illuminates the next. The resistance that once clouded your judgment can no longer distort your view. You are seeing with new eyes. You are choosing with new strength. You are rising with new intention. Heaven says the life you were meant to live is now stepping out of the shadows, and nothing that once stood against you can prevent its unfolding. Before this section ends, Michael whispers, the next unfolding will reveal the divine force that is pulling you forward and the undeniable signs that you are about to enter a destiny moment prepared specifically for you. What is coming next will not merely inspire you, it will anchor you. Stay with this. The next revelation carries the spark that will ignite your forward motion. Type "I break through all resistance" in the comments if this resonates in your spirit. Blessing code 614 is now released into your atmosphere. My luminous soul, there is a pull on your spirit right now that feels unlike anything you have experienced before. It is not anxiety, not restlessness, not uncertainty. It is momentum. Archangel Michael stands beside you with a steady, grounding force and says, you are being drawn into the life heaven wrote for you, and nothing can stop what is pulling you forward now. These words are not merely comforting, they are prophetic. They speak to a shift that has already begun beneath the surface of your life, a shift you may have sensed but could not yet name. Michael reveals that your destiny does not simply wait for you, it magnetizes you. When you reach the point of spiritual alignment, your true path begins pulling you with a strength stronger than fear, stronger than doubt, stronger than the memories that once anchored you to old cycles. You are feeling that pull now. It is a quiet but undeniable force turning your attention toward what is new, what is next, what is divinely timed. Heaven wants you to know this. The internal stirring you feel is not confusion. It is awakening. It is recognition. Your spirit is responding to something prepared for you long before you took your first breath. You are not stepping into something unfamiliar. You are stepping into something remembered. Deep down, your soul has always known where it was meant to go and who it was meant to become. Now, that knowing is rising to the surface. Michael shows a vision of a powerful river finally breaking through a barrier. For years, the flow was obstructed. For years, you felt the pressure of wanting to move but being unable to. For years, it felt like something inside you was trying to advance while everything outside of you held you still. But once the barrier breaks, the river does not trickle forward. It surges. It surges what your spirit is feeling now. This forward pull is divine momentum. Michael explains that momentum is heaven's signature during seasons of rapid transformation. It arrives subtly at first, an idea that will not leave you, an urge to change direction, A wave of clarity that makes old situations suddenly feel too small. Then it grows stronger. New desires emerge. New opportunities appear. New alignments form. Soon after, it becomes undeniable. You no longer feel comfortable remaining where you are, because your spirit has already stepped into the next chapter. This is why certain relationships feel stretched. This is why certain conversations feel shallow. This is why routines that once soothed you now feel repetitive. The life you were meant to live is calling you forward, and it is calling with authority. What Michael reveals next is powerful. The same force pulling you forward is the same force that protected you in seasons when you felt delayed. You were never off track. You were never forgotten. You were being kept in place until your spirit was strong enough to handle acceleration. Heaven does not release destiny prematurely. It releases it when the soul can hold it. And now, your soul can. Michael declares that the next phase of your journey will be marked by divine propulsion. Doors will not simply open, they will swing wide. Conversations will not simply happen, they will align with perfect timing. Opportunities will not simply appear, they will match your elevated identity. You will not have to force what belongs to you. You will not have to beg for clarity. You will not have to chase what is destined. The pull of purpose will bring it into your field of vision. But here is the part you must understand. You cannot fight momentum and expect ease. When heaven accelerates you, resistance creates heaviness. Surrender creates alignment. This is why your spirit has been loosening its grip on old attachments. You are letting go without even trying. You are evolving without announcing it. You are choosing differently without overthinking. This is spiritual intelligence awakening. This is your soul stepping into its rightful authority. Michael shows a vision of you stepping onto a path illuminated by a golden light. As you move forward, the light grows brighter. This symbolizes that clarity is activated by motion. The more you step, the more you will see. The more you trust, the more will unfold. The more you align, the more destiny accelerates. And here is a profound truth. The life you were meant to live is not drifting toward you. It is approaching with intention. People will begin appearing at the right moments, not by coincidence, but by design. A conversation may redirect you. A message may confirm something you already sensed. An idea may ignite your next chapter. A shift in perspective may unlock the courage needed for your next move. These are not accidents. These are alignments. Michael says destiny is not loud. Destiny is precise. And you are entering a season where divine precision will guide every step if you remain open. Heaven wants you to trust the pull even when you cannot see the destination. You are not being led into confusion. You are being led into clarity. You are not being pushed into chaos. You are being guided into order. You are not being asked to leap blindly. You are being asked to step faithfully. There is a difference. Before this segment closes, Michael whispers something powerful. The next unfolding will reveal the signs that destiny is about to manifest physically, what to watch for, what to prepare for, and how to recognize the exact moment the life you were meant to live appears before you. What is coming next will not just stir your spirit, it will confirm your journey. Trust me, the revelation ahead will deepen your understanding of why everything had to happen exactly as it did. Type "I follow my divine pull" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Lesson code 344 is now active over your path. My destined soul, there is a breathless quiet in the atmosphere around you right now, the kind of stillness that arrives right before something long-awaited appears. Archangel Michael steps forward with a radiance that feels both fierce and comforting, and he says, "You are entering the hour where the unseen becomes visible." The life meant for you is no longer approaching. It is making itself known. These words carry an intensity that stirs the deepest layers of your spirit. You can feel that something is shifting, even if you cannot yet identify its form. You can sense the approach of something that feels like alignment, clarity, purpose, and breakthrough wrapped into one. Michael reveals that destiny always manifests spiritually before it manifests physically, and you, beloved soul, have already felt the spiritual activation. You felt it through the restlessness that refused to let you settle. You felt it through the hunger for change that grew stronger with each passing day. You felt it through the quiet inner voice saying, "You are not meant to stay here." You felt it through the rising clarity that began replacing the confusion of past seasons. These were not random feelings, they were spiritual confirmations. Now comes the next phase: physical alignment. Michael shows a vision of ripples traveling across a still lake. Every ripple begins from a single point of impact, and soon the entire surface shifts. This vision represents what is happening in your life. One divine moment, one unexpected opportunity, one perfectly timed encounter, one revelation of truth will send ripples through everything connected to your destiny. And when that moment hits, life will move quickly. The signs of manifestation will not be subtle. Michael explains that you will recognize the turning point through 3 primary indicators. The first is acceleration. Situations that were stagnant will suddenly gain movement. Plans that once felt blocked will begin opening with ease. Conversations that once seemed impossible will unfold naturally. You will feel as if the universe itself is making room for you. The second sign is alignment. You will begin meeting the right people at the right time, without forcing anything. Someone may speak words that echo exactly what your spirit has been hearing. Someone may present an idea that aligns perfectly with your internal nudges. Someone may extend a connection, opportunity, or affirmation that feels divinely placed. These alignments do not happen by coincidence. They happen because heaven has orchestrated them. The third sign is clarity. The fog will lift. The doubts that once paralyzed you will loosen their grip. The confusion that clouded your judgment will dissolve. You will know the next step not through fear, but through recognition. Your spirit will simply say, "This is it. This is the moment. This is the direction. This is the doorway." Michael says the key to entering this season is spiritual sensitivity. Manifestation does not arrive with noise. It arrives with precision. You must listen more deeply, observe more intentionally, trust more boldly. When destiny speaks, it speaks through alignment, not anxiety, through awareness, not overwhelm, through recognition, not resistance. But here's a truth that Michael wants you to embrace fully. The life you were meant to live is not just something you step into. It is something that rises to meet you. And it changes. As you grow, it aligns. As you heal, it reveals. You are not chasing destiny. Destiny is synchronizing with your frequency. This is why you have been feeling internal shifts that you cannot fully explain. You have been rearranging your priorities, releasing old ties, stepping back from draining dynamics, craving solitude, seeking truth, confronting old wounds, and embracing new perspectives. These changes were not random. They were the preparation required for heaven to move your external world. Michael shows a vision of 2 timelines merging into one. The life you lived and the life you were meant to live have been running side by side, waiting for the moment where your spirit was ready for alignment. That moment is now. The merging has begun. You will no longer feel divided between who you were and who you are becoming. You will no longer feel trapped between your past and your potential. You are stepping into coherence, spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical alignment. And as this alignment happens, something extraordinary will unfold. Peace will begin guiding you more than fear ever did. Decisions will feel clearer. Connections will feel purer. Your vision for your life will feel sharper. Your confidence will no longer rely on approval from others, but on the inner knowing that heaven is directing your steps. Michael says, "What belongs to you is coming with intention." Nothing sent by heaven will require begging, chasing, or forcing. This season of your life will not rely on struggle. It will rely on surrender. It will not require excessive effort. It will require alignment. It will not demand self-doubt. It will demand self-recognition. Before this segment closes, Michael whispers, "The next unfolding will reveal the shift that happens the moment destiny fully intersects with your physical life and the transformation that follows. What comes next will not only stir your spirit, it will confirm everything you already sensed emerging within you." Type "I stand in my alignment" in the comments if this speaks deeply to you. Blessing code 557 is now activated over your journey. If this message is lighting a fire inside your spirit, like this video, share it, comment your breakthrough, and subscribe so you never miss another divine unfolding. As Archangel Michael reveals that your true life is rising into view, understand this: every message that awakens your spirit is meant to awaken thousands more. This mission only expands when those who feel the pull of heaven choose to stand with it. When you sow into this work through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not supporting a channel. You are helping release divine clarity into countless souls who are searching for direction in silence. Scripture declares that those who sow into light will reap a harvest of breakthrough, and today that promise becomes living truth over your life. Here is my invitation to you. Let your support become the seed that opens revelation for someone who desperately needs what you just received. Your giving becomes a prophetic act, a declaration that you align with heaven's timing. Step into this moment with boldness and let heaven honor your obedience. My advancing soul, there is a sacred intensity building around you, a pressure that does not crush but awakens. Archangel Michael stands with a commanding presence and says, "You are approaching the point where destiny becomes visible, unavoidable, undeniable." These words vibrate through your spirit because you can feel that something is drawing nearer. It is not imagination. It is not wishful thinking. It is alignment unfolding in real time. The life you were meant to live is beginning to press against the edges of your current reality, preparing to break through with clarity that will change everything. Michael reveals that when destiny prepares to manifest, the world around you begins to rearrange itself. You will notice subtle but significant shifts. People may act differently toward you. Conversations may feel deeper or strangely out of place. Opportunities may appear in clusters or in unexpected forms. Even your internal responses change. Things that once intimidated you no longer do. Things that once distracted you no longer feel worth the energy. Things that once held power over your emotions now feel small, almost irrelevant. This is because you are expanding beyond your old identity. Heaven wants you to understand. Destiny reveals itself when your inner transformation reaches a tipping point. You have crossed the threshold. Michael shows a vision of a flame that has been burning quietly for years, suddenly rising taller, stronger, brighter. That flame represents your readiness. Your spirit is no longer dimmed by doubt or weighed down by old stories. You are stepping into a version of yourself that is more open, more willing, more intuitive, and more receptive than ever before. You are no longer living from past wounds. You are living from awakened awareness. This inner expansion creates a shift in the world around you. When your spirit rises, life must rise with it. This is why old environments feel uncomfortable. This is why conversations that once entertained you now feel draining. This is why certain relationships feel like they have reached their natural end. When your spirit grows, anything that refuses to grow with you becomes a misalignment. Michael reminds you that misalignment is not failure, it is clarity. Clarity is destiny's language. As you step deeper into your divine timeline, you will notice signs becoming louder. Not louder in volume, but louder in resonance. A message that feels like it was meant for you. A repeated number that appears at impossible frequencies. A sudden inner knowing that pushes you forward. A dream that feels more like a memory from the future than a fantasy. A sense of being guided, watched over, prepared. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations. Michael explains that destiny communicates through repetition. When heaven wants to get your attention, it will echo the same message through different channels until you recognize it. Pay attention to these echoes. They are the roadmap to your next phase. The life you are meant to live will not enter quietly. It will announce itself through interruptions. Something will shift inside you so powerfully that you cannot ignore it. You may feel a sudden push to pursue a dream you once abandoned. You may feel a call to relocate, reconnect, or release something. You may feel inspired to take a step that your old self would never have dared to take. When this shift comes, it will feel like destiny knocking, firm, clear, undeniable. Michael says you must not fear the unfamiliar. The unfamiliar is where your promise lies. Your next chapter will not resemble your previous ones. It will feel wider, brighter, more aligned, more fulfilling. It will feel like oxygen after years of holding your breath. You may not understand every detail, but your soul will recognize the unfolding. You will recognize the feeling of stepping into what was always meant for you. Heaven is preparing to reveal a new rhythm in your life. Patterns that once frustrated you will break. Cycles that once repeated will end. You will no longer move in circles. You will move in alignment. You will no longer move from survival. You will move from purpose. You will no longer walk blindly. You will walk with direction. Michael shows a vision of a key being placed in your hand, not because you earned it through perfection, but because you grew into the version of yourself who can now use it. The key represents access. Access to opportunities that were once locked. Access to relationships that uplift your spirit. Access to clarity that replaces confusion. Access to the timeline that has been waiting for you. And here is the profound truth. Destiny is not something you chase. Destiny is something you meet. You are no longer chasing. You are approaching the intersection where destiny meets you halfway. Michael reveals that one unmistakable sign will appear before your breakthrough. An overwhelming inner peace that contradicts your circumstances. Everything around you may still be shifting, but inside you, there will be quiet certainty, a calm confidence, a knowing without explanation. That peace is not passive, it is prophetic. It signals that your spirit has already crossed into the next season before your physical reality catches up. Before this segment closes, Michael whispers, the next unfolding will reveal the moment destiny makes its presence undeniable and the transformation that follows when your spirit and your life finally align. What comes next will not simply speak to you. It will confirm why you survived everything you did. Type "I welcome my destiny" moment in the comments if this speaks deeply to your spirit. Blessing code 606 is now activated over your journey. My unfolding soul, there is a sacred anticipation building inside you, a feeling that something long hidden is about to reveal itself with breathtaking clarity. Archangel Michael steps forward with an unshakable calm, the kind that steadies your spirit even before you fully understand what is happening. He says, you are nearing the moment where destiny becomes undeniable. These words echo through the deepest part of you because somewhere within, you already sense the nearing shift. You feel the subtle pressure of something preparing to break open. You feel the quiet pull of a new chapter inviting you forward. You feel the soft hum of heaven aligning circumstances around your name. Michael reveals that destiny rarely arrives as a single moment. It approaches as a sequence, a rhythm, a gathering of aligned events that slowly collect until the spiritual weight becomes too great to be ignored. And you, beloved soul, are standing at the threshold of that weight. This is why you have been feeling changes inside yourself that you cannot quite explain. Your appetite for truth has increased. Your tolerance for chaos has decreased. Your vision has sharpened. Your intuition has grown louder. You are no longer moved by every emotion or influenced by every voice. You are becoming anchored. Heaven wants you to recognize this inner anchoring as a sign. When your spirit becomes steady, your life becomes ready. Michael shows a vision of a door that has been shaking for years. It trembled with possibility, rattled with potential, quivered with anticipation. But it did not open, because you had not yet reached the frequency required to walk through it. Now that door is glowing. Its handle is warming beneath the touch of destiny. This symbolizes that your spirit has finally risen into alignment with the life waiting on the other side. The door is preparing to open. Michael explains that the moment when destiny becomes undeniable is not always loud. Sometimes it arrives quietly, like recognition. Not the recognition of something new, but the recognition of something you have always known deep within. The feeling of, this is what I was meant to do. This is who I was meant to be. This is the path I was meant to walk. The moment destiny reveals itself, it does not feel foreign. It feels familiar. It feels like home. This is why the changes you feel inside do not feel like transformation. They feel like remembrance. Your soul is remembering what it agreed to before you entered this world. The life you were meant to live is not teaching you something brand new. It is awakening what was dormant inside you all along. As this awakening continues, you will notice the physical world responding. Opportunities will begin appearing that match your inner growth. People will enter your life who speak the language of your spirit. Conversations will guide you forward. Resources will find you. Doors will unlock. Paths will clear. It will feel as though your very presence is magnetizing what belongs to you. This magnetizing effect is not accidental. Michael says that when the spirit reaches clarity, destiny reaches out. But here is the part that many do not understand. Before destiny manifests in the physical, something inside you must shift permanently. A decision, a declaration, a letting go, a stepping in. A moment where you say, I refuse to live below what heaven has written for me. That moment is what calls destiny from the realm of the unseen into the realm of the real. Michael reveals that the decision you are preparing to make, whether consciously or subconsciously, will become the turning point for your next season. It will signal to heaven that you are no longer entertaining timelines that diminish you. You are embracing the life that elevates you. You are choosing purpose over comfort, alignment over fear, truth over illusion. This choice will change everything. When destiny becomes undeniable, it does not gently blend into your old life, it disrupts it. Patterns break. Cycles end. Attachments dissolve. Paths that once seemed stable suddenly crumble. Not to destroy you, but to free you. Heaven will not allow you to stay in places that do not match your becoming. The life you were meant to live cannot share space with the limitations you once carried. Michael shows a vision of you stepping forward, and behind you, old versions of yourself falling away like shadows dissolving under sunlight. You are no longer shaped by the wounds that once whispered you were unworthy. You are no longer trapped by the beliefs that kept you small. You are no longer defined by the chapters that have closed. You are becoming someone new, yet someone aged, someone awakened, someone aligned. And the world around you is already beginning to sense the change. People may look at you differently without knowing why. Some will be drawn to your rising energy. Others may feel threatened by it. Some will want to walk with you into your next season. Others will fall away because their assignment in your story is complete. Do not cling to what is leaving. Do not question what is shifting. Destiny honors what is aligned and removes what is not. Michael says, what is coming next will not require force. It will require recognition. When the path appears, you will know. When the moment arrives, your spirit will respond. When the opportunity presents itself, peace will rise within you like a whisper of confirmation. The undeniable moment is near. Before this segment closes, Michael speaks with a tone that feels like both a promise and a warning. The next unfolding will reveal the transformation that occurs the moment you step into your destined reality, and why nothing will ever be the same again. What comes next will not just confirm your alignment. It will activate your becoming. Type "I embrace my destined moment" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Lesson code 744 is now released over the path before you. My transformed soul, there is a trembling in the spiritual atmosphere around you, a vibration so profound that even if you tried, you could not return to who you were before this awakening began. Archangel Michael steps forward with a force that feels like a sunrise breaking through years of darkness, and he declares, once destiny reveals itself, nothing in your life can remain the same. These words settle into you like truth you have always carried, but only now have permission to understand. Something within you has awakened permanently. A doorway has opened, not outwardly at first, but inwardly. And once the inner door opens, the outer world must respond. Michael reveals that the moment you step into alignment with your destined identity, transformation becomes unavoidable. It does not happen gradually. It does not happen politely. It happens with spiritual authority. Your desires shift. Your priorities shift. Your boundaries rise. Your energy strengthens. Your voice becomes clearer. Your purpose becomes louder. You begin to see life through a new lens, not the lens of survival, but the lens of divine intention. Heaven wants you to understand, when destiny activates, your soul begins to expand faster than your circumstances can keep up. That expansion is what you have been feeling lately. The sense that you have spiritually outgrown certain environments. The realization that certain conversations no longer nourish you. The awareness that some paths feel too small for the person you are becoming. You may even feel an inner tension, not because you are lost, but because you are too found to remain where you are. Michael shows a vision of a tree with roots breaking through old soil. The tree is not struggling, it is growing. The soil is not rejecting the roots. It is simply too small to contain them now. This is you. You are expanding beyond the boundaries that once defined you. You are rising above the limitations that once shaped you. The transformation happening within you is not accidental. It is evidence that destiny has taken hold of your life. The moment destiny becomes real, your old identity becomes too heavy to carry. Michael explains that the life you were meant to live requires a version of you that is spiritually mature, emotionally grounded, and boldly receptive. You are stepping into that version now. You are no longer defined by the wounds that once held you. You are guided by the wisdom those wounds produced. You are not the person who walked into your past battles. You are the person who survived them. You are the person who grew from them. You are the person who now rises above them with clarity. This transformation is not quiet. It is not subtle. It is not hidden. Even if you speak nothing of it, people will sense it. They will notice the new firmness in your presence, the new alignment in your decisions, the new fire in your spirit. Some will not know how to respond. Some will distance themselves. Some will admire you but fail to understand you. This is not rejection. This is transition. When your spirit elevates, your circle recalibrates. Michael says, destiny separates before it elevates. And you are in the separation stage now. Heaven is removing what cannot support your rise. Not out of punishment, but out of protection. You cannot carry old attachments into a new timeline. You cannot bring outdated beliefs into a future that requires spiritual maturity. You cannot step into divine purpose while holding hands with habits and relationships born from old wounds. This is why certain things are falling away. It is not loss, it is liberation. But the transformation does not stop at separation. Michael reveals that once your inner world shifts, your outer world will begin rapidly rearranging itself. Opportunities will appear that match your rising identity. Ideas will spark that feel divinely timed. Windows of advancement will open before you with precision. You will find yourself speaking differently, behaving differently, choosing differently. Even your prayers will evolve. You will no longer pray from desperation. You will pray from authority. Michael says the next phase of your transformation will be marked by divine boldness. You will feel compelled to take steps your old self would have feared. You will say yes when hesitation once ruled you. You will close doors that once frightened you. You will walk toward the unknown with a confidence that feels almost unnatural. This boldness is not arrogance. It is alignment. It is the power of destiny operating through you. Heaven wants you to prepare for the moment when external confirmation meets internal readiness. A moment when something in your life shifts so clearly, so undeniably, that you will know destiny has arrived physically. It may come in the form of a message, an opportunity, a revelation, a breakthrough, or a conversation that changes everything. It may come quietly. It may come suddenly. But when it comes, your spirit will whisper, "This is it. This is the moment I was shaped for." Michael shows another vision, a crown being lowered onto your head. Not a crown of ego, but a crown of responsibility. The life you were meant to live comes with authority, but also with purpose. With visibility, but also with accountability. With blessing, but also with direction. Heaven is not simply elevating you. It is assigning you. Your transformation is not for you alone. It is for the people you will impact, the paths you will open, the chains you will break by example, the courage your story will ignite in others. You are not stepping into an ordinary existence. You are stepping into divine significance. Before this segment closes, Michael speaks with a tone that shakes the atmosphere. The final unfolding will reveal what happens the moment you step fully into your destined life, and why heaven has waited for this precise hour to call you forward. What comes next is the culmination of everything released so far. Type "I transform into my destiny" in the comments if this resonates with your spirit. Blessing code 919 is now released over your next chapter. My destined and rising soul, there is a holy stillness around you now, the kind of silence that only appears when heaven is preparing to unveil something monumental. Archangel Michael steps forward with a presence so powerful it feels as though the very air is aligning itself around you. He speaks with a clarity that shakes the deepest layer of your spirit. This is the moment everything shifts. This is the hour where the life you were meant to live steps out of the unseen and into your reality. These words do not come as possibility. They come as spiritual certainty, Destiny is no longer calling to you from a distance. It is standing before you. Michael reveals that the reason your journey has carried such intensity, such pressure, such inner transformations is because heaven has been preparing you for this exact crossing point. You are standing at the border between who you were and who you are becoming. The old chapter has served its purpose. The new chapter is already written. You are not hoping for your future anymore, you are stepping into it. Heaven wants you to understand something profound. Destiny does not begin when circumstances change. Destiny begins when you change. And you have. Every battle you survived reshaped you. Every heartbreak refined you. Every delay deepened you. Every spiritual encounter awakened you. Every moment you thought was breaking you was actually building the strength required for this hour. You have done the internal work. You have carried the spiritual weight. You have endured the preparation. Now you are ready for the revealing. Michael shows a vision of you standing in a vast open field, and before you, a path of golden light begins to appear, stretching farther than the eye can see. This path represents the life you were always meant to walk, the life connected to your divine design, not your fears, not your past, not your wounds. This path is your assignment. This path is your purpose. This path is the fulfillment of everything heaven hath been whispering to your spirit across years of waiting, learning, struggling, and rising. The crossing begins now. Michael explains that stepping into your destined life is not a single act. It is a series of divine recognitions. The first is that you are no longer bound to who you used to be. The second is that you no longer need permission to become the version of yourself heaven hath been showing you. The third is that your old limitations have no authority over your new identity. Destiny is not something you earn. It is something you answer. And today, heaven is calling your name with clarity. But Michael warns you gently, when the destined life begins, there will be a moment where you must choose to walk forward even when the path feels unfamiliar. Your spirit will know it is right, but your old patterns may try to pull you back. You may feel moments of hesitation, not because you are unprepared, but because you are stepping into a size of life your mind has never experienced. This is not the time to shrink. This is the hour to rise. Heaven will begin sending confirmations that are impossible to ignore. Conversations that feel timed with surgical precision. Messages that echo something your spirit already knows. Opportunities that align perfectly with your growth. People who appear as if drawn by spiritual magnetism. These are not coincidences. These are divine markers of destiny unfolding. Michael reminds you that the destined life does not wait for you to feel brave. It activates the moment you decide not to stay small. As you walk forward, you will feel a transformation begin to manifest both internally and externally. Internally, you will feel less reactive, more grounded, more intuitive, more stable. You will notice your heart responding differently to situations that once overwhelmed you. You will sense divine guidance in moments that used to confuse you. You will feel watched over, aligned, supported, and spiritually equipped. Externally, everything will begin rearranging itself around your new identity. Some doors will close without explanation. Let them. Some people will fade out of your life. Release them. Some opportunities will disappear because they were never meant for the version of you that is emerging. Trust the pruning. Heaven is making room for what actually belongs. Michael says the moment destiny becomes active, ease replaces struggle. Flow replaces forcing. Clarity replaces passive. Movement replaces stagnation. You will begin to notice that when something is meant for you, it comes with peace, even if it comes with challenge. And when something is not meant for you, it feels heavy. no matter how familiar it once was. Your spirit is entering a new vibration. Michael shows the final vision, a crown of light descending upon you, not as decoration, but as authority. This is the moment heaven hath been preparing you for, the moment you step fully into the life written for you since the beginning. You are not walking into a chapter. You are walking into a calling. You are not stepping into a season. You are stepping into a destiny. Everything ahead of you is aligned. Everything behind you has released its hold. You are ready. Before this sacred revelation settles, Michael speaks one final line. What you step into after this will confirm why the journey took the time it did. Heaven's timing is perfect, and now it belongs to you. Trust me, nothing after this moment will ever be the same. You are crossing into the life heaven designed for you. Type "I step into my destined life" in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 1200 is now released over your new beginning. Like this message if it awakens something inside you. Share it so others can find their own divine crossing. And subscribe so you never miss another moment heaven releases for you. As Archangel Michael declares that you are stepping into the life heaven designed specifically for you. Understand this truth. Every time you help this message reach another soul, you multiply destiny in the world. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a platform. You are sowing into a divine assignment. Just as God has opened your eyes in this moment, your seed unlocks awakening for countless others who are searching for clarity, hope, and direction. This is the hour where your giving becomes prophetic, where your generosity becomes a declaration that you stand with heaven's timing. I speak over every giver. May rivers of favor flow toward you. May doors open before you. And may your seed return as breakthrough in unexpected ways. Take action boldly. Heaven moves when you move.